Today I'm going to talk about an older game that I played for the first time a few times over the holiday break, and that is Flashpoint Fire Rescue. It's a little similar to Pandemic, but it very much captures its own theme of a fire breaking out in a building, and the players are firefighters who are trying to put out that fire. I played Red as usual here, and of course I rescued a cat as soon as I could from the burning building. There are two really standout mechanisms in this game that I really enjoyed and that I think could be applied to other games. Both are kind of simple, but they're really brilliant. The designer thought to include them. The first is that you play a character in the game, not pictured here. I mean, this is my character, but you have an individual role in the game. And usually in a game like this, that's your role for the entire game. However, in Flashpoint Fire Rescue, you can trade out your role by returning, if I remember correctly, returning to the ambulance or the fire. Oh no, returning to the firefighter. If you return your character to the firefighter, which can happen either if you die or if you choose to move out there to the fire truck. I said firefighter a second ago. To the fire truck, you can change your character at the beginning of your turn to a new character. This is really, really cool because I love the idea that you're not stuck with this one character throughout the entire game. In the two games we played, I only switched once. So it's not something that may happen all that often, but I really like the option that you can switch your character, your special ability, during the game if you want. And as the fire necessitates, there might be some big problematic things that happen early on in the game that you want a certain character for, and then midway through the game you might be like, okay, that's not a problem anymore. I need a different character to address a different problem. The second mechanism I really like is tied to the action point system in this game. This is, like Pandemic, an action point system where you have 5 action points that you can use, or 4 action points that you can use during your turn, and you can use them to do different things like move or put out fires, carry out a cat to the ambulance, things like that. The really cool thing here, though, is you don't have to use all your actions, and actions don't go wasted. Action points don't go wasted if you don't use them. You can actually save them to your next turn. This created a lot of interesting table talk amongst the players because there were certain times where, a number of times really, where my optimal move on the turn was to spend 2 action points doing something, and normally those final 2 action points might just go wasted. There are games like Burgle Brothers that give you something that you can do if you don't use more than a certain number of action points. But in this game, you just straight out book them. You save those action points using tokens to your next round. So feasibly, and you can save a maximum of 4. So feasibly, I could take no actions at all on my turn, save all 4 tokens, and take a huge turn, an 8-point turn, 8 action point turn on my following turn. Or save them to a future turn. I love that you can do that. I really, really love that you can do that in this game. As much as I don't enjoy action points in general in games, they're fine. I don't love them. This makes the mechanism really, really work. It not only makes you feel good when you don't have to use all your actions, but it gives you that interesting decision of, do I use all my actions this turn? Because usually the answer is yes. Of course, use all the actions you can. But in Flashpoint Fire Rescue, it truly becomes a question. Do you use them all now, or do you save more for a more powerful turn later? And because of the way the fire breaks out and spreads in the building itself, it really becomes a strategic decision there because the timing is really, really important. So yeah, that's my 2 favorite mechanisms in Flashpoint Fire Rescue: the action point saving system and the fact that you can change your special ability, your character, throughout the game if you want to. If you can think of any other games that use mechanisms like these, or if you have a different favorite mechanism in Flashpoint Fire Rescue, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks!